Taking care of everything like he always does. You know, we were here with Point Boro last November. I think it was sometime in November. The Panthers were in the midst of an outstanding season, and they would go on to win their second straight Class B South championship, second straight 8-2 season. I guess on the down low, second straight disappointing to lose in the opening round of the playoffs. But I remember when we had Coach Matt Cilento on that night. And, we were concentrating on now, which then was last season, but looking ahead to the future, and we made a comment like, boy, you've got a lot of really good players coming back, including that quarterback and running back. The expectations will be high. Well, they are, whether he likes it or not. Point Boro was the consensus B South favorite going into this season, and certainly reaffirmed that pick with a season-opening 42-7 win over Pinelands, and the second-year coach is good enough to join us. Always a pleasure.
No, thank you for having me. It's an honor and a privilege as usual. So I do appreciate us, having us here tonight.
It's fun to talk Point Boro football. Even Coach Nicola said one of the traditional programs around the Shore Conference for so many years. Like or dislike sort of being in the catbird seat, where I think this year you had to know there's a little bit of a target on your back?
We're taking it right now as a program. We're taking it as a challenge. We know what we have to do week in and week out. And we're just trying to compete every Friday night or Saturday. And that's kind of how we've implemented it with the kids. Is you got to respond. And each week is going to be a different week. And, each week's going to be a different challenge. And we just have to step it up and play hard.
One more before I let these guys jump in. I do run the show, so they'll have to wait. But when you come into a season like this, which you have, I'm sure you have high expectations, does it change your practice at all in the summer? And you maybe a little more concerned, I don't want to lose kids. I don't want to burn kids out. We know in a lot of spots who we have, or is that not the case?
You know what? This year, the great thing is that obviously offensively we have, kids that have been in the system for 2 years now. And the practices have been more efficient because the kids were on top of it with their technique and their choice calls. And they've done a great job of being efficient and productive during our off-season sessions and obviously now in season.
Coach, the facilities at Point Boro now with the turf field, did you get new bleachers also?
The new bleachers were last year.
Last year, yeah. But I mean, a tremendous facility. I got to see you guys in a scrimmage earlier this, at the end of the summer. Kids got to be excited about that, especially your speed guys, like your quarterback and your running back.
No, they're definitely excited about it. Obviously, the field, the community did a great job. Our administration, the Board of Ed, took care of us, and everyone in the community pretty much supported it. So we have a good support system, but it also makes other teams faster too. So.
and the first two games, by the way, last weekend, this week on the road, so you get to open it up at home, and we'll be there next week.
Yeah,
you are our radio game next week.
Yeah. Well, you're not worried about next week, though, right?
I'm not worried about Saturday right now.
I just mean next. I'm just saying.
No, I mean we do two grass fields in a row. Thankfully, we practice on a dirt/grass field, and we get that turf every now and then during the week, so it's been good.
I've been on that thing is dirt/grass.
Just saying.
When you have a team like this where you have so many returning seniors, so many returning starters, talented players, as you said, expectations are high. You have to be excited for the coaching staff because these are the kind of years you build towards as a program. When you have that large senior class and you're prepared, you're ready to make the championship run. So just how about that? Getting ready for the season, knowing what you guys are capable of.
We knew we had a good group back, a good, high character group. They're tight knit. They stick together and they work hard together and they hold each other accountable. And for us as a coaching staff, you can't ask for anything better than that. I mean, we're excited, and I'm very lucky to have very good coaches, very good young, intense coaches that the kids feed off of. Guys like Ryan Staub, who's my offense coordinator, and Tom Urock, Shane O'Connor, and Coach Canary, who's actually probably been with me the longest on staff since 2009 in that range. So it's been good. It's been fun so far.
Coach, you got to calm Staub down though on the sideline,
it's funny. He says he's got to calm me down. So I guess it's because we're both on the different sides of the ball during the game.
There you go.
We feed off of one another.
We're asking the wrong guy to calm me down. We're going to talk with a couple of your outstanding seniors, James Farrar and Town Court, in just a moment. But I do want to ask you a little bit about Lacey. And I know every coach, it's one game at a time, it's 1 week, and I understand that. Lacey obviously is a school that's had a lot of success in football. They were up in A South a couple years ago, back down in B South. And in your mind, of course, every B South opponent is the team, but Lacey's clearly one that I think we would think and the common folk would think would be a team that could challenge. So your impressions of them, they opened up beating Tom's River South last week. Obviously, you saw the game they played on Saturday, so I'm sure you scattered it. What do you think about them, and what concerns you most on Saturday?
Well, in the short conference, we all know they're a very traditionally rich football program. Coach Vasili's done a tremendous job since, 1981, so that's something to be said for him. And he always has those guys ready. They're going to be physical. If you've seen them play, you guys know that they have their running back who's very tough downhill runner. Their quarterback class is pretty good too. They got some slot guys that can run it. Defensively they were physical last week. If you saw them play Tom's River South, so it's going to be a grind for us. It's going to be a physical game.
It seems like he's gone, excuse me, Bob. It seems like Coach Priscilla has gone back to the old Keith Elias era, right?
Yeah.
Where he wants to pound you between the tackles.
Yeah,
With Jerisi, like you said, he's an outstanding running back.
Going back to that multiple eye stuff, he's going back to the traditional stuff he used to run, and they do a very good job doing it. And you can see they brought in the kids this year. So,
Not in terms of scheme, but offensively, do you see some similarities with Lacey with your team in the sense where, they at two important positions, quarterback and running back, when they have those seniors back who are experienced and are leaders there. And when I look at Lacey, okay, who do you have come back? It starts with those two guys, and certainly, in week one, they both played pretty well and kind of drove that offense.
correct. I mean, obviously, you're going to see it's going to be very competitive. And both teams, and obviously with us, we have downhill runners, they have downhill runners, so it's going to be a very physical, competitive game.
The nature is, us in the media, a lot of times you talk about the offensive players, they're the headline guys, but I know you take a tremendous amount of pride in your defense. A little bit of a unique 3-5-3 kind of set you run. You were in the top 10 last year in defense and points allowed, and probably at the end of the year you would tell me that defense does win championships.
Yeah, defense is very important. Especially with the 3-5-3 and the personnel we have, it allows our kids to, take ownership to it and fly around. And the kids have a lot of fun running it, and I enjoy being a part of that with them because they really do compete on that side of the ball. And that transitions over to the offense because we have a lot of guys this year that are playing both ways. Like we've always had in the past. Because of the fact that we're a small school, and but those kids do a great job of getting themselves ready and preparing themselves on both sides of the ball for us.
And a lot of experienced kids too. And as Kevin said, we all tend to focus on the offense, and certainly when it puts up a lot of points, as it did last year. But a good amount of starters coming back on that side of the ball, and they played well last year. So I'm sure your expectations are pretty high for those guys too.
Yeah, we're excited. We know what we have on that side of the ball. We have our center back, Nate Patizzi, who's going to be a 2-year starter. We have Connor Landis back. We moved Trenton Volsky, who's a sophomore last year, who played defense end for us. He's now on the line. Anthony Bonavito's back, who was injured for us. And he was, if you saw him this year, he's a pretty good wrestler and a winner for us. Then we have Paul Francischini that's on the line now too. So we have some fillers in there, and it's good to see because a lot of these guys know what they're doing. And they know the technique on that side of the ball. They know the schemes. Then obviously we have Tanner, we have James Farrer back, and we also have Trevor McNamara back. That's who was our starting safety last year. And then our wings, we have a little speed there this year. We're pretty athletic. We have Brandon Cipriano, who did a real nice job until he actually got hurt in the Monmouth game last year, if you guys remember. And then we have Nick Chiarella, who was a starter on defense and started at wing last year. So
My imagination, do you have to be Italian to play a
I guess it's not a bad thing.
Matt, the week one game, I know you probably turned the page on that for the most part, but it just looked like that's the blueprint, what you guys want to do. Obviously, you ran the ball effectively, over 350 yards. You hit the passing plays when you needed to. James had the long touchdown pass to Cipriano. When you look at the offense, what you want to do, obviously it's going to be 90% running the ball, but hit a couple plays, keep the other teams honest, keep them guessing, and do what you guys do.
Yeah, last week was a tough grind for us because you're playing a double wing offense, and then we're running the triple, so it was probably quick for most people. For us on the field, it wasn't that quick, but the kids did a really nice job of really executing on the offensive side of the ball and opening it up for us. You know, and it was a physical game. You saw that game. It was very physical on both sides of the ball.
Well, speaking of those kids, we're going to kind of bring them up and get their thoughts on Boro football. We're looking forward to, actually Bob and I are both going to be at Lacey on Saturday to watch your game, but we're looking forward to coming back the following week for the opener of the new turf field and doing that game on the radio. Should be a lot of fun, but as always, Coach, thanks so much for your time. We really do appreciate it.
No, my pleasure. Thank you.